Welcome to the demo of the NetFacilities web-based work order and asset management solution. The NetFacilities dashboard view is designed as a one-stop screenshot to do tracking of activities at one or all of your sites. This includes things like asset tracking, whether or not you have work orders that are taking place on assets. Those could be corrective or preventive. We also have inventory tracking, where you can see if there are items to reorder or requisitions to approve. In the lower left, you have maintenance key performance indicators, as well as in the upper right-hand corner, so that you can see work orders by various statuses, and you have an area for work orders by progress. In the center of the screen, we have public work orders. This is where you can mark a work order for public dashboard viewing if you expect duplicates, and you also have shortcuts. This is where you can place shortcuts to your favorite places to work on the internet. News and events is designed for creating a news or event broadcast to let your tenants or employees know about upcoming events or work you're doing at the facility. Creating a work order on NetFacilities is very straightforward. Click on Work Order, select your property site, next choose a subsite, that means building. You'll also choose an area for which this work is being performed and specify where in that area the work is taking place. Choose a service type, then choose a preset symptom or task, like too cold. This will give you a pre-populated description of the work. You can also assign it to a class or category of work order for later running reports against that category. You can flag it with normal, medium, or high importance. Then click Approve and Send or Approve and Output. This takes you to the screen to assign it to an in-house staff member. We'll select Sean and budget 0.50 hours. You can add comments if necessary. Then we click on Approve and Send. Sean gets an email summarizing the work order, and this is what the work order looks like. It's got all the details that Sean needs. When he logs into the system to see it, we'll get an audit trail entry, and this audit trail gives you real-time and date-stamped information about what happened every step of the way with the work order. Now, when we go back to the overview, we can see this item, and now we're going to go ahead and close it out. We simply click on Closeout, put in the date the work was done, specifically what was done. We can optionally put in the time, meaning what time we completed it. Then once we've entered our completion notes, such as removed and replaced filter, we can move down to the area where we can optionally enter labor. This is where we can add a new record and put in the amount of time that that maintenance person used to complete the work. We can also include a description as to what that is. Here we'll put labor, and we'll enter 1.5 hours and update. That will become part of the work order's history, and you'll see the labor cost. Here it says 37.5, so $37.50. We can also use materials. You can put in non-inventory items that you purchase on the fly, or you can deplete something in real time from a warehouse. We can also include billable services, which would allow us to then prepare an invoice that we can save on the system or email. When you close out a work order, you can also include files like a picture of the work that was done. Now when we do close out the item, when we go back to the system overview, we will see that that item is in a status that we call completed. What that means is that the work was in fact done. However, it's not yet closed. It will go through its countdown period. So when you're at the overview, you're looking at all the various work orders that you have in your active queue. And if you ever need to know what's inside of an item, simply hover over the work order to see exactly what's being done and where. Creating a work order as a basic staff member or a tenant is very straightforward. From the overview, you'll click on Work Order, and the site you're located at will already be pre-selected. Next, you choose which building you're in. Then you want to choose which area you're in, and underneath that, specify where within that area, such as entire office, that this work is taking place. You'll choose a service type, then choose a preset symptom or task, such as too cold. Choose your flagging importance level and click Submit. Now, the reviewer approver for that site will receive your open status work order. They will review it, approve it, and you'll see the status change on the overview. The overview is an active queue of all of your work orders. You have different ways of sorting this screen view. For example, right now we're looking at asset work only. If we uncheck this, we're looking at all types of work orders. That can include asset work such as corrective work. It can also include autopilots. That's like a recurring work order that has nothing to do with equipment, and then wrench with autopilot signifies a PM. You can do different types of slicing and dicing of this screen view, such as looking by property site, service type, who the work order is output to, such as in-house staff. You could look by department. This would be easy to do if you use the department sorting feature here. We're going to go ahead and select facilities. We also have other options on the screen. We can look at corrective or predictive maintenance, and we can take a look at who specifically this work is assigned to. So here we're looking at everything that's assigned to Sean. If we ever get lost, we simply click reset, and that brings all of our work orders back on screen. The overview is an integral part of day-to-day work order management, and as such the overview allows you to look at my activity or all activity. Under Assets, we will load each piece of equipment you have, fixed or movable, at each of your property sites. You can sort these by category, and you can also look by specific property site when you're accessing the asset list, or what we call the Assets tab. Within each asset, we're going to have information such as the asset ID, the display name for that piece of equipment, as well as the category or group to which it has been assigned, and we will help you set these various areas up. You'll have a General Services Sub-Navigation tab, as well as a Custom Fields area. This is where you can track extra things about the asset that we're not tracking up top, like filter size, etc. Readings is for collecting meter reads or mileage counters. You can also use warranties to track a line item description of the warranty on the asset or a part you've installed. And under Transactions, you'll see every work order that's ever been performed on this asset, be it corrective or preventive in nature. Under Files, you can upload user manuals, documents, images, anything you and your team need about that asset. Under PM Schedules, you can set up an unlimited number of preventive maintenance items. When we set up a PM, what we're doing is automating that schedule so that a work order comes out to schedule the preventive maintenance, so you don't have these things falling through the cracks. We choose the site, the asset in question. We create a customized description, what we also call a procedure. Then we choose an in-house staff member or a vendor to which the work order is assigned. The PMs can be set up on schedules such as daily, ranging all the way to yearly. You can use readings to trigger those, and you can also do unique schedules such as every 3 months, every 5 months, every 3 years, etc. Now when we go back to my account and we're accessing the overview, we can see these various PM items based on what's under the indicators column, the wrench and autopilot symbol. That means preventive maintenance. You can also use the schedules view, which is a unique view that allows past, present, and future views for your planning. Here we review a corrective work order that's going to be performed on an asset. First, when creating the work order, you're choosing your site, the area, you're also describing the location. You then choose a service type. You can also choose a class of work order. Next, we flag it for priority and click on Attach an Asset. We can search by description for that asset, and we also have a way to filter by category. Now once we've done this, we can click Continue, and that connects the asset to this corrective response. Now we approve and output the work order, and this will take us to the screen where we can assign it. We'll choose in-house staff, choose an individual. We'll double check the overdue date. We can edit that if we need to. And then we simply click Approve and Send, and now an email notice goes to the assignee, and we have a corrective work order for that asset. The Vendors tab is for managing the various contractor relationships you use. For example, we can see the exact contact at that vendor location. We can also track other things about the vendor, such as under Files, we can have copies of agreements, maybe a W-9. You can see a unique transaction history of work that vendor has done. You can make notes, track tax info or license info. You can also put a line item description of their insurance certificate, so you can track that. Under jurisdictions, we can see the locations where this vendor is allowed to work, and under service types, we configure the very specific service types list that applies to that vendor. Now, you can give access to your vendors on NetFacilities so they can receive and close out work orders with you, but if you decide not to give access, they will still receive email alerts about the work orders they've been assigned. Inventory is designed for tracking your parts and consumables. You can sort items by category. You can also look by item type, as well as site and specific storage location. When we load these items, we want to put display names that match those items. And then we want to track other important information, such as your reorder levels, current quantities on hand, and vendor pricing. You also have an area for journal entries, and you can see safety information under this Safety Info tab. This will tell you, for example, where the MSDS forms are. You'll have an inventory list you can look at. You can set up to receive items and do requests and track usage. Again, inventory is designed specifically for parts and consumable management. Under the Users tab, you can see and track all of your various users, and that includes unlimited users, ranging from a basic staff member all the way up to an administrator. What you're tracking is who that person is. They have predetermined permissions based on the user role, and then jurisdictions can be used to control which sites they have access to. Under Sites, we can see and track the various property locations that you have. So this might be a property site. It also might be a job site. What we're doing here is tracking exactly where the site is. We can also add multiple buildings. Those are called subsites. You have a file storage area, so you can upload various things like emergency evacuation plans. You can note ownership. You also have a transactions history for each property site. This allows you to track exactly what has been done at that property site. Mobile Facilities is a micro version of the NetFacilities system. It's for use on your smartphone. The dashboard view shows various work orders by status. You also have a graph view if you want to see percentages of work orders by status. You can also review overdue work orders, overall work orders, today's work orders, high priority work orders, and there's a calendar view in case you want to see work orders by calendar date. You can always go back to the dashboard to see your various work orders, and you have an overview so you can see all the work orders that are on the same overview that's shown on NetFacilities. Creating a new work order is very straightforward. Choose a site, a building, then choose a building area. Once you've done that, describe the area where the work is taking place. You'll next choose a service type. That will bring in custom descriptions. Choose a description, then go on to approve and output the work order. When doing this, you'll need to choose from in-house staff or from any outside vendor you want to assign the work to. We're going to choose Sean Dawson. We click approve. Sean gets an email summarizing what the work order is. This way he can go and perform the work. Now, he can also close that work order out from the field using his smartphone. He would simply take the action of close out work order. When doing this, he enters completion notes just like on NetFacilities, describing what he did to complete the work. He can optionally put in the completion time. He could also put in labor and use materials in real time. This is all happening in the field, so Sean doesn't have to go and find a computer. You also have access to your asset list to see all of your various assets. You can take a look at what's in the system as far as images. You can look at readings. You can look at warranties. You can look at files. This way you can do all the research you need to from the field. The whole idea behind these tools is to keep you efficient and working without having to go and find a computer. You can also see transaction histories, and you can create a brand new work order connected to an asset. This would be a corrective response. Here we can see the inventory list. You can look at all the various inventory items you have on file. You can request items, receive items, and also track usage. For a more in-depth look at the NetFacilities system, please contact your account executive to schedule a live demonstration. You can reach us at 866-979-4300 or respond to the email used to send you this recording.